purpose is simply aligning with God's plan for our lives. And in entirety, purpose is aligning with the true meaning why we are here. That for me is what purpose is.
I agree with you. Like I said, especially for Christians, we believe that purpose is what brought us here. Because when we gave our life to Christ, it's easy for God to like, okay, come home. But he left us here for a reason. He left us here to do something. He left us here for impact. So I totally agree with you that purpose is the essence of life. It is the reason why we are here. And a lot of people now ask the question, how do I discover my purpose? What are the steps to discovering purpose? And one thing I have learned is that aside from reading books, one of the ways to know your purpose is to also listen to other people tell their stories, because in their journey you may find something that is similar and that can be very helpful for you, something very practical. So I'd like to ask you, what would you say your purpose is, and what were the steps or things that led you to the discovery of this purpose?
Beautiful question. Now, in the conversation of purpose, there are multiple facets to this conversation. It's not boxed. It's not one straight answer. I woke up and the Holy Spirit spoke to me. Ta-da, that's my purpose. No. Purpose is multi-verbed. It's multi-dimensional. So, and I also want, before I move on, I also want to mention that purpose, yes, can be discovered, but there are purpose in different seasons. So the purpose you have in a season of your life might not align with the purpose you're going to have in the next decade. Do you see? Purpose is transient. It moves. It's not static. I find a lot of people are stuck. Let's not move. Now, how did I discover purpose? I discovered purpose, the purpose I am fulfilling right now, which is bringing out the genius in every and any child I come across. That is my purpose. That is the passion that burns. We don't need to talk before you know it. And that is why I started my school. I found my current purpose in pain. I found my current purpose through struggling. 2018, on the 26th of December 2018, I went to bed. And I went to bed with a very banging headache. I was 7 months pregnant at the time. I had a banging headache. My eyesight was blurry. I was tired. I was just feeling somehow. I was pregnant. I kept on complaining to my husband that something is wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. But he said, let's go to the hospital. I was like, nah, I don't think it's any problem. Maybe I need to rest. It was Christmas, and you know how Christmas is up and down. I went to bed, guys, on the 27th. I woke up on the 29th early morning. So I don't know what happened through the 28th to the 29th morning. I woke up in pain. I was in the hospital. My mom lives 6 hours away from me. She was there by my bedside. My husband, I saw doctors. I was like, what is happening? And they were like, you had eclampsia. So eclampsia is a medical condition that happens in pregnancy. Pregnancy-induced hypertension. So there I had a 7-month-old, 1 kg baby. There I was. I slept, woke up with a premature baby. I was swollen. I lost my eyesight at a point. Let us say that I spent 3 months in the hospital and came home with a child who had delayed milestones. She had serious developmental delays. My daughter worked when she was about 2 years, 6 months. She talked at 3 years plus. She wasn't responsive. Her cognition was just not given. I remember when one of my in-laws came to visit. So he called my husband aside and he said, there's something wrong with your daughter. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with your daughter. At that point, I found purpose. I told myself, I don't care what the devil is doing. This child has been given to me by God. I don't care what the doctors, I don't care. I don't care the doctor, even when she was almost like a vegetable. Imagine carrying a 2-year-old with carrier. She couldn't walk. With all that weight, I'll carry her. And people are going to tell me, your child is not working. And I'm like, no, she's working. She's fine. I maintain positivity. At that point, I was already an educator, so I just dusted my books. And I started working. 4 years later, my daughter is a miracle. So like I said, I found purpose in pain. Instead of languishing in depression and, oh, had I known, oh God, what did I do? I decided that I was going to use that testimony, or rather that life circumstance, as a testimony. So I thought to myself, you know what? There are tons of children who are in my daughter's shoes at the moment. There are tons of parents who do not know what to do. How about I dedicate this season of my life to encouraging, to sharing what I do? And somehow it was time to take her to school, and the schools around me were just not doing it. And the ones who could do it were charging an arm, a leg, an eye, and a kidney. I said to myself, you know what? No matter how it is, we're going to start with Learnville. We started Learnville in September, and the testimony is baffling. So in summary, I found my purpose in pain. And that is why in this season of life, I am working in it, shouting it to the whole of the earth that there is a genius locked up in every child. There is just what to do. There is how to do it. There are things, there are structures you can create around that child. That, man, that's my story. Thank you.
Thank you so, so much. I want to highlight two things that you said that really struck me. Now, you said that purpose is like a journey. You may not catch a glimpse of everything at once. And I totally agree with that. Because one thing is that for some of us, if God were to show us the totality of our purpose at the moment, we can't take it. So sometimes it dispenses everything per season, just like you said. And that is why instead of being so stuck up on, I want to understand everything about my purpose now, what you understand in this season, take it, run with it. In fact, that is going to be very liberating for some people. That is going to be very liberating for some people. And that is why we also emphasize that we need to work intentionally. Once you're working intentionally, once you're working purposefully, don't worry. You will get just what you need per season. You will see it. And it's that thing that you see that we now call vision.
Yes,
that part of your purpose that you see. 2 years, 3 years, that's the vision. Then you begin to work with it, and then God can, and because as Christians, we know that God owns our life. So sometimes what you even think is what I am meant to be can be changed.
Yes, true.
Because the potter can call us to do anything, can mold us into anything, and call us to do anything part time. So that really stood out for me. Then the fact that you highlighted for you found your purpose through your pain, which is one of the ways that we can discover purpose. Purpose can be discovered through pain. And thank you so much for sharing your story, because now look at the amount of people that you are able to help because of what happens to you. And because that's better passion in you for children, especially during the childhood years. This is just so good, so good. And I must, as a mother myself, I can imagine what you went through. I can imagine and eclampsia for some people is a near death experience. People have died from it.
True.
People have died from it. And then to wake up, you have a child in your hands. That's the way you navigated that whole experience, and you are able to find your purpose in it. I hope that we can learn from it and know that sometimes when trials come, when there is pain, we should look for purpose in it, because they might be calling us. That pain, that trial might be a pointer to our purpose. I think we've lost our guest, but let me know so far.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Let me know what has hit you so far in the comment section. Let me know what has hit you so far, and let's start to put our questions together. At the end of everything, we are going to take our questions. But so far, just hit us in the comment section with the things that have stood out for you so far. I will be reading your comments. So I want to ask, one thing that also struck me is that after that experience, you became very passionate about children. I want to ask, do you believe passion always plays a role in the discovery of purpose? What is the relationship between passion and purpose? And I know that for some people like you, the things you're passionate about become aspects of your purpose that you begin to work on. But there are also people that I know that they may be passionate about something, but that may not really be what they are called to be. I want to get your perspective on it. Do you believe that passion always plays a role in the discovery of your purpose? Whether you become passionate about something or not, when you find your purpose, definitely it is driven by passion. So for you, what is that all? What role did passion play? What do you think about passion and purpose?
Awesome question. Thank you very much. Now, passion and purpose are related. A lot of times we think that passion is the only indicator of purpose. No, but passion is very important. I like to think of passion as a trigger. Now, there is the gun, there is the bullet. The bullet is the purpose. It's what you're aiming to achieve. The passion is just a trigger. If you are not passionate about your purpose, you will not have the energy to run. Passion can be developed. When God fills your heart with what he wants to achieve with your life in the season you are, that filling your heart is the passion. The passion is not just the burning sensation of wanting to do something. That's not just passion. Passion is not just the burning in your heart. That's not just passion. A lot of times, passion is the energy you feel. I remember when it was when it was my turn, I was trying to work in this thing. I just knew that I couldn't sleep. But I couldn't sleep not because it was, how we think of passion when you are energized. No, that's not it. I couldn't sleep because I knew that there were tons of children who were going to be liberated by what I have gone through and how I'm able to teach and carry other parents along. So passion for me is the trigger. Passion is not the thing. Purpose is the main thing. Passion is the trigger. If you're not passionate, passion gives you the strength to run with your vision. Passion gives you the enablement. It gives you the ability. It gives you the stamina to run. But passion is not purpose. Passion, purpose are intertwined. They are related. We don't see passion as the trigger. The purpose is there. It's not every time that your passion leads to your purpose. But whatever purpose or season you are in, whatever purpose you have per time, you must have passion for it. It is not that passion that fuels you. I don't know if you understand the reason why I'm going through this route is that a lot of people have purpose, it's glaring in your face. Or you say, I'm not passionate. Why are you not passionate? Because it doesn't look fancy. Why are you not passionate? Because it doesn't look exciting, like maybe your pastors traveling around the whole world and like, nah, I'm not passionate. Passion is developed. There are purposes that come with let me stop. Let me get to somewhere. There are different ways we discover our purpose. There are different ways, tons of ways. But in some ways we discover our purpose, it's a natural passion. For example, when you're discovering your purpose from your strength, what you love to do, that one would come with a natural passion. But if God calls you to a thing, you might not have passion for it at the time. A lot of times you'll be complacent. You have to brood, you have to pray for that passion to trigger. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. So yes. Passion and purpose are intertwined, but passion is not purpose. A lot of times passion is just the trigger. A lot of times passion is the excitement. A lot of times passion is the dormant energy within you that pushes you along the line of your purpose. I don't know if I made any sense there.
You made a lot of sense. This is like a drop mic situation. You said everything. Passion, I totally agree with you that passion is a trigger for purpose. It doesn't necessarily mean that passion can be that the passion is that thing you're passionate about is the purpose. And I like another thing that you said, that sometimes God, purpose might be staring at us in the face, but we don't see it because, oh, I'm not passionate about this. Yet, that is purpose. That is God calling us into something, but we feel, oh, I'm not passionate about this. That is so true for so many people. So this makes us realize that when God keeps dropping something in her heart, there may be, even though we are not passionate about it, maybe it's time to zoom in, pray about it, and then ask God to birth the desire and the passion for it. Thank you so much. This was really, really insightful. So my next question is going to be this. You are an early childhood educator. You're a strong voice advocating for change in our educational system. Now, let me just take a moment to talk about our educational system. Every person who is paying attention, whether or not you're a mother. In fact, if you just look at the system you pass through, knows that there's something wrong. Not a lot of things are wrong with our educational system. And so it's good to see a certain group of people coming up now into that system, change makers, trying to change certain things. And for me, you're one of them. So you went from being a teacher to founding a school. School owners and administrators in this part of the world are mostly people in their 40s. Most time when you hear somebody is a school owner, you expect to see this middle-aged woman, how they look like now. What was the journey like for you? I would have asked that, why child education? But you already told us that. So what I'm going to focus on now is that, what makes you continue to play in this arena of influence, undeterred by any bias? Because I'm sure that the fact that you are young might be a bias for some people. They come to your school and they probably, oh, is this the director? And then your like I said, your voice is loud in that arena. So then people may want to be like, okay, how many years of experience does she even have? So I want to understand, what is your driving force? What keeps you, ahead of your game in spite of the limitations, in spite of any stereotype? How are you able to continue doing what you do?
Thank you so much for that question. My driving force is, I have been in the system for 10 years. And I find that the educational system in Nigeria doesn't favor the child. I have a personal passion to bring out the genius in every child. But a lot of the school systems we find just plays to a set of documents that is not tailored according to any child's strength. That was my personal passion for opening up Learnville. And guess what? These systems we have keeps on degenerating the children that God has given us. I believe strongly that there is a genius in every child, but how those geniuses are nurtured would lead to the realization of that genius in them coming out. Now, that was my passion. I just wanted to create a school where no matter, we're not a special needs school, but there are still children who are not special needs, who are playing below what they should be in it, the way God has created them, because of nurturing. We find that tons of schools ingenious children every day. If they are not shutting the children up, we have children who are assertive, but the teachers are shutting them up because teachers themselves have low self-esteem. We have schools that do not understand the learning styles of children, that do not understand the fact that children learn differently. So what I have done, the passion for me, is to create an ecosystem where my teachers, one, are trained. They understand. Now, beyond paper certificate, they have what my boss would call certificate. They know. So you see a child, you're able to deduce, this is what is wrong, this is what we can do. I don't run a fancy school, I'm not a politician, I don't have all the money in the bank. But one thing I've told myself is that what this mission that God has given to me, I will go at it with all the excellence my current financial capacity can handle. So this is my passion. Starting the school as a young person, my daughter didn't give me, she didn't give me an alternative. My daughter did not give me a choice. I just knew, right? I just knew that if I was going to nurture this child that God has single-handedly given to me. I TTC'd before I had this girl. If you know what my daughter went through, I TTC'd for 2 years. After TTCing, I started bleeding. After bleeding, the journey is long. I just told myself that this child is a gift. For her to be alive today is a gift. So I'm not going to toil with her. I will not toy with her. So the truth is, my daughter didn't even give me a chance. I went to schools. Her, I couldn't find. The school I finally found, they were not playing to her strength. She was going to go to school, come back. The teachers can tell you, I don't know what to do. Oh. She's not talking. Oh. She's not responding. Oh. And I gave them strategies, but they're too proud to take it. They feel like, we're a parent. What do you want to tell us? So I was like, nah, I'm not going to toy with this child. I'm not going to toy with this child. So I just went in. March last year, we got the space. My husband was like, how do we do it? I'm like, babe, we going. We have to do a lot of sacrifices, a lot of stretching. Woo! But to the glory of God, we're doing it literally. We're doing it. If I tell you how we're doing it, I don't know. If you tell me how we're going out there to get children, I don't know. But I know that I'm on the path of purpose. I know that parents leave Learnaide every morning and they're happy. There's no pride for me in running Learnaide. If I need to get down to gate man, I will do gate man. If I need to enter the toilet, I enter. Because for me, it's not, one of my parents was like, so calm down. I'm like, no. Other school owners run theirs like businesses. I run mine as a mission. This is business as mission for me. It's not a fancy entitlement of director. Nah, that's how we do this. What we do is God has called us to bring out the genius in every child, and we put everything in. We go all in. Hands, leg, eye, nose, money, resources, everything has gone into Learnaide. So honestly, it's been a journey that I am super, 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 super grateful for.
There's a lot to unpack in what you have said.
I hope I answered your question, because whenever we talk about Learnaide.
Yes, you did. And there's so much to unpack in what you said. And I hope that many of us on the call can, take some of these principles and apply it to our own personal journey. Now, one thing is that once you discovered that this is what you wanted to do, you went in fully. You did not, you saw the obstacles, you saw the challenges, but you did not let them deter you. You went in full force, you went in with confidence. And like you said, your daughter did not even give you a chance to, you had to prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself, you drew from your past experience, and then you continue to learn. And then
yes.
I one thing I can take away from what you said is that it was a stretch, but you did not back down. And I know we are still going to talk later. We're still going to talk about challenges, so I'm not going to go into that now. I can see some one of our sisters asking that, please, where is our school? Don't worry, we're going to talk about where our school is. We're going to talk about our resources, the resources she has for parents, and how we can get them before we end the conversation tonight. So I'll just go to the next question. I see a lot of women who get married. Thank God today is Mother's Day, and we had the International Women's Day just some days ago. So I see that a lot of women who get married, have kids, and lose their identities, forgetting their vision, their dreams, and their goals, because they just don't have time for any other thing aside from their home. And of course, women tend to say that, oh, I have to prioritize my children and focus on them, which is a very good thing. In fact, it's something that must be done. It's one of the things that I wrote about in my book, Intentional Parenting. There's no way around that. We need to prioritize our kids. We need to parent intentionally. However, I don't think that women should lose their identity and wrap their life solely around their children. Because what if you don't have children? Would you not have dreams? Outside of your children, who are you? What's your identity? Can people see who you are? Those are the questions on my mind when I see women who forget that they have unique identities, and they just lose themselves, lose their dreams because they have become mothers. You are a wife and a mom. you have this aspect of your life going, and you're also passionately living your dreams, transforming the lives of young children, empowering parents with tools and resources for being better parents. How have you been able to achieve this harmonious life? What would be your advice to a mother who wants more? She wants to be more, she wants to do more, but she feels limited by the demands of being a wife and a parent. What would be your advice to that woman? How have you been able to navigate this area of your life?
Awesome
I hope the questions that I hope you got the hang of the questions.
I got a hang, but I would have to go back to our notes.
Okay.
Because this is like 10 questions in
one.
So we'll take it one at a time. So you talk about women losing their purpose. I know that we have single sisters here, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, we do.
Now, Awesome. So this conversation actually starts before you put a ring on your fingers. The capacity to do is not built in marriage. Look, if there was one person, marriage wasn't going to stop. It's precious. Since I went through hell and I came back, 2 years of my life were on a lockdown. It was victory. We were not going for therapy. We were going for this one. We were going for that one. Well, guess what? In that season, I was building capacity. Let me go back. If marriage is not going to lock you down, make you a shadow of yourself, as I see a lot of young women are in this phase of life, sisters, you will have to catch a glimpse of your future even before getting into marriage. What this will do for you is that it wouldn't help you, one, choose the person that would give you wings, literal wings to fly. Because there is a limit you can go if your spouse is not going along with you. So this is why I say that the conversation is not even held in marriage.
It starts before marriage.
It starts before marriage. It starts with your choice of a spouse. It starts with your capacity development as a young woman. It starts with the vision you've envisaged for yourself as a young woman, even before getting married. Motura and I knew ourselves before we got married. We were running the blogs then. And if anybody told anybody that I was a 22-year-old that was behind that blog, way back 2014, they would not have believed. Purpose is not meant, you don't put your life on the spot waiting for marriage now. It is what you have done in your singlehood that will propel you when the challenges because marriage comes with challenges.
Yes.
Marriage is an absolute blessing, God, but it comes with challenges. My sister had a baby last year, and my sister is go. If I think I'm going, my sister is going go. My sister touched money that I only dreamt of before I even dreamt of seeing it. She's an entrepreneurial young lady. Last year, she had a beautiful baby Roy. Guess what? She had to get to a halt. That was what I had to think to myself, that marriage and motherhood is, I and my mom were having the conversation, that it's how your sister has paused her life for a while. My sister, oh my God, she thought she was going to be able to do it, but guess what? Motherhood is going to take demands on you. She had to pause. Right now, she's propelling again. Imagine if she wasn't propelling before marriage. Guys, purpose starts before marriage. Purpose, and even a glimpse of where you're going to, starts before motherhood. If you don't get this, then you're going to struggle. You are going to struggle. Motherhood is going to pack you up. It doesn't matter if you have 5 children. One child will pack you up. You will just stop like a sports car and just be staying there. And you'll become grumpy. Every day you're going to work. Every day you're going to work. But if you, my daughter is laughing here. But if you had started working, even if motherhood packs you at a spot, but it's only for a season, it's for a while, you are able to sit where you are, and the vision is very clear. When Vicky was going on through what she was going through, guys, it did not deter where I was going to. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I so much built capacity. All I'm trying to say is start right now. This 22, 23, 24, 25, 30-year-old, start now. in whatever you're doing, build your capacity, build your stamina, build your grit, build your resilience as an individual before you get into marriage. You're going to knock engine if you get into marriage without developing you. You are your greatest asset, not your husband. Whew. So what's the next question, please? So I don't.
Before we move to the next question, we need to unpack some things you just said. I need to reemphasize some things you said, because this is what I tell people. It starts even before you get married. You know how motherhood would look like for you. Your experience. You're not losing your identity. All of these things start even before you get married. You know, my book on motherhood, I had a whole chapter for singles. Because most times if you're not in a season of life, I've noticed that if you're not in a season of life, people just tend to, oh, okay, I'm not in a season of life. When I get there, I'm going to just wing it. But preparation for a season of life most times starts from a previous season or a current season, meaning that even before you get married, because motherhood is going to take a toll on you. You know, it's easy to see cute babies on Instagram and go, oh, my ovaries, oh, I can't wait, I can't wait to have my baby and all of that. They are gifts from God. They are beautiful. They are awesome. They fill our life with so much joy, but motherhood would take a toll on you. So if you're not going to lose your identity, like she said, it starts from now. Capacity building for the journey of parenthood starts from now. It starts from now, and you are your greatest asset. So this is the time to start to ask questions. This is the time to start to prepare. This is the time to get hold of a vision and start to run with it. So when you get into motherhood, no matter the experience, it keeps burning. Even when you take a pause, it keeps burning. Like she said, yes. I was reminding her. I said we used to blog when we were younger. There was a time, I can't remember if I was the one that invited her or she was the one that invited me. You know, we shared stories on our blog. I can't
remember that.
It's so beautiful to see that. Then we were running with what we had, right? I didn't know then I was going to have a faith-based community. I didn't know I was going to do some of the things I've done now. But the little I understood then, I was running with it. The little glimpse you had of your purpose then, you were running with it. And you're still running with it. So once you're living purposefully, whatever motherhood is going to throw at you, even when you take a break, you are able to come back. I also had an experience in my motherhood, and that's even why I wrote my book, because I felt that people don't understand what motherhood can do. You know, my first child, 7 months. 7 good months. I could not eat. I kept throwing up. All what I used to know then, before marriage, then all what I used to know then was, oh, okay, morning sickness, you just throw up small, you know, the way they do it in Hollywood. You just throw up a bit and that's it. Non-stop. I was grounded. Like, I was not myself. So, yes, motherhood will make us take breaks sometimes. But if we have prepared ahead, we can continue to glide smoothly in our purpose journey. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I want you to emphasize again. Okay, we talked about preparing ahead, but now, now I'm in my marriage. I'm a mother. How can I live an harmonious life? Yes, the kids are here. The kids are taking my time. I don't have time. I feel I don't have time to do any other thing. But I have this hunger. I know there's something missing. I want more. I want to do more. What can I do at this moment? How can I live an harmonious life? I think that's the only thing we didn't touch. That's the question.
We didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how do you live a harmonious life? Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think my network is beginning to break.
We can hear you.
Can
Yes, can you hear us? Put it in the comment
now,
section if you can hear us, but I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you too. Now, how do you live a harmonious life? There are different indices that I would like to talk about, but I'll just focus on 3. 1, you must understand you as an individual. You must understand you. John Obidi calls this understanding. He calls it personal sovereignty. Imagine you were a state. How do you lead you? DDK calls it understanding the empire of you. A lot of self-help books call it self-mastery.
Yeah,
I like to think about
self-mastery,
this way.
self-governance.
Who are self-governance? Who are you as an individual? You see why we talk about capacity building as a mother. If you do not understand you will dabble into this parenting thing, wifehood, motherhood, and when it tries to pull all your energy and the reserved energy that you have, you're going to break down. So you must understand who is precious. And what are we understanding? Understand your temperament. It's not just reading why you act the way you do. It's understanding why I act the way I do. It's not just understanding your temperament. So you label yourself, I'm an extrovert, I'm a party popper. No, that's not it. How does your temperament relate with your everyday life? How does it boost your effectiveness? Do you understand your strengths? Do you understand your weaknesses? How are you making up for your weaknesses? And how are you propelling your strength? I am not a social person. I am introverted to the core. How is my introvertedness a strength for my family building? Remember, a wise woman builds her home. But no wise woman will build her home if she does not understand her personal sovereignty, if she does not understand the empire of who she is as an individual. What are your weaknesses? If understanding you is 50% of the struggles you're going to have in your marriage, it's 50% of the struggles you're going to have in your parenting. If you're choleric, you're mean, rigid, and you want to have children, you want to have toddlers who are going to scatter you, you must understand you. That's 1. Number 2, you must understand your energy cycle. Understanding your energy cycle. I learned this in 2020. Since it has changed the game of my life. God, I do so many things that I don't know how I do what I do. I'm running a school. I have a full-time remote job with one of the foremost parenting academies in Nigeria.
Wow.
So I'm running Learnaide full-time, and I told you, I don't know how to bend my mouth. I don't have a lot of resources to run Learnaide. I started with everything, and everything I have was not enough. I was a teacher. I tell my teachers, I'm a teacher like you. So I'm not like one jagaban who jumped into money. And I'm a teacher like you who has to use her life savings. So a lot of things in Learnaide, I am a multi-potentialite. I do a lot of things. So Omo, I've put it, like my eyes are paining me. I've been typing exam questions. I design. I do a lot of things. So how am I able to do all these things while still being sane? I understand my energy cycle. Energy cycle is simply those times in a day where you are at your zen, you are at your peak.
At your peak.
Not every hour in a day is equal. For instance, I do not function at night. I had to tell her, please, let's do this thing by 6. By 7, we're going to have a sleeping guest. I'm exaggerating. But I do not function at night. I sleep at night. I sleep. But guess what? Sleeping at night gives me the energy. So I understand that between 3 a.m. to 2 p.m. are my zen period. In short, if even with your energy cycle, there are still times that you are most energetic, creative. Yes. For me, it's between 3 to 10 a.m.
Yes.
So I know that anything I'm doing from 2, I'm wasting my time. Guess what? If you understand your energy cycle, you're able to work times 5 of what you would have done in times that are not your energy cycle. So you see, understand personal sovereignty, understand the mastery of you. Even as a mother, even in parenting my daughters, I know that there are times that I am cranky. It even helps me in managing my emotions, because I know that within this period, mommy is cranky. Don't disturb me. Don't come with me with your own fun. I will not do it. I'm tired. Do you see? So it helps me maximize my time. So I don't waste my energy cycle scrolling aimlessly on Facebook. I don't waste it washing clothes. I could use the other period to, do you understand? Yes. So understand your energy cycle. When is my peak? Number 3, understand the season of life that you are in.
Awesome.
Where am I? At this season of my life, understand the season. This concept is called essentialism. Understanding what is most essential to you at the time you are in. At this time of my life, there are 3 things that are most essential. 1 is my relationship with God. 2 is family. Hobby, my daughter, my family, my sisters, my mom, family. Then work. At this point, I'm not ashamed to say that I have a non-existent social life. Because how am I going to socialize when I have a daughter who needs me? But there are times in my life where my social life will have to climb up the ladder. There are times that I wouldn't have to invest a lot of time in my daughter as I am doing right now. So I'll be able to move around and joke and laugh. There were times that self-development conferences were up here, but they've come down a bit. So the question is, what season of life are you in? Personal mastery. As a young mom, there are things you cannot prioritize as a single person would. So this simple understanding of myself has helped me become epic at my work. Because I understand what I'm supposed to be doing per time. I understand where my energy is. I understand my strengths. I understand my weaknesses. And guess what? I play to my strength. So my weakness is not up there too much. The next thing I also wanted to mention is also the season of life where you are. Where are you at this time? What a mother who has 1 child would prioritize is not what a mother who has 3 under 5 would prioritize. Now, seasons of life are not punishments. They are seasons that everybody must go through. This beautiful 25-year-old...
Say that again. Seasons of life.
Seasons of life are not punishments. They are just things that everybody must go through.
Awesome.
In my dialect, let me not go there. But rat, I wanted to use a dialect, but let me leave it. Rat, cat, everybody will go through it. That beautiful 22-year-old who is the life of the party, doing volunteering, attending conferences, going back to school, life is still going to meet her. At a point, she will still do and come back to meet motherhood. Leave it. The mother that is struggling with her 3-year-old, at a point, she will leave those ones and get to a point where her children become independent. So they don't need her as much as they would now. How are you harnessing the season you are at the moment? That's the question. How are you harnessing it? It would really help. Harnessing the season you are would help you know and realize that there are things that I'm telling you right now, social life is at the back burner. 100% service in church is at the back burner. Family life at the moment with my daughter is more important. Even God will tell me, well done, my child. Because the mandate of parenting is more superior than spending 24 hours serving in church. Because if you take an excuse and you reduce your responsibilities, somebody else can stand up to the plate. Somebody else can take responsibility, but nobody can take responsibility for your child. Nobody can take responsibility for your family. You fail God in your parenting, you have failed. You don't just fail God. You fail an entire generation. And it will take a lot of effort and working and reparenting. We don't want our children to struggle with things we should have taken care of. If we need to build character, we build character. There are things that we call the formative years of children's lives. I don't enter parenting. But between the age 1 to 6, there are windows of opportunities that open in your child that you will struggle to cover up if you did not take care of it within those times. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Right now, I have a foster daughter. Their character, their executive functioning skills, her mother should have developed that I'm struggling to develop right now. It's going to wait for you. So understanding, I don't regret. I don't have a lot of places I go to. I do not regret because I am raising an independent 4-year-old who by the time she's 8 will be able to reason, take responsibilities and relieve me of a lot of stress. And guess what? Social life will come back to you. By the time my daughter gets to a particular stage, I can go and sell out in church and not come back. And she's fine. Seasons of life. Essentialism. What is most important at this phase of your life? It's a question you should ask. What is most important? For some people, if they don't have a social life, then they are almost, you have choked them. If you please excuse me, thank you. You have choked them up. If that is what you need, create a system. Number 3, everybody needs systems in their lives. I started hearing of systems from my boss. A point came last year, I was just everywhere. I was doing this business. I was doing this one. So she called me one day. I had the responsibility to tender in, and I was giving excuses. She was like, Precious, your excuses are no more permissible. You need to create systems in your life. I would find myself 2 hours, I'm scrolling Instagram, I'm laughing. We went for a conference. I was just looking at me. What are you doing? You should have people that you follow, that you favorite. So people just scrolling endlessly. So you must create systems in your life. What are negotiables? What are must? The negotiables, can you give them off to somebody else to take care of for you? Even as we talk about motherhood and getting sold out and doing everything, you don't want to look back and regret and tell your children, I gave all my life
everything for you.
I sacrificed everything. Nah. It's not that I say what I say. I still have things I do that make me happy. Do you understand? You must also understand. Vicky, please excuse me. Thank you. You must also understand that while you are at that season, a lot of mothers spend time doing what they could have easily, I'm looking for that word right now.
Outsource.
Thank you. If it's in your budget at the moment to outsource some things, please do it. There is no trophy for sufferhead mother. Your children will not remember. I don't remember this what my mother did. I remember her care. I remember her nurturing. I remember her words of advice. I remember the time she sacrificed. But I remember times she was inside the kitchen washing plate that somebody else would have been able to do. Outsource as much as possible. Create a system. When your kids go to bed, what is breakfast? Can I do bulk buying? The people in your life, how are you using them? I'm not supposed to use using, but I want to use using so you understand. Your husband, how are you ensuring that he plays to the season you are in? Honor him, respect him, but it takes 2 to tango. It's me and you, the king, have come. Sir, beyond providing, what are you doing? Sir, respectfully. Honor, very key. But how is your husband contributing? A lot of times we assume he's not doing anything, but you've not communicated. One of the things I've learned in my 7 years of marriage is that I assumed a lot of things. He should know. My sister, those people used to think straight. They didn't know nothing.
Communicate.
They didn't know nothing. Open your mouth, out of your belly shall flow. Let it flow. This is how I want you to serve me in this season. And while you're communicating, also understand what are his strengths. You kill my husband when you expect him to do house chores. But he's going to take care of his daughter. And I kept on complaining, you are not helping me to wash plate. And it's like, no, I'm not for washing plate. The day I realized he does well with his daughter, my sisters and brothers, he carried his pikin. So you must understand, do you have family members around you? How can you get them into your support system? Every woman that thrives in purpose has support systems. How can you create them? How can you bring them to support you? It was Ibukuna Washika that shared that her mother-in-law, I don't know if she's still alive, but her mother-in-law was with her for over 20 years.
Wow.
She used to say that her mother-in-law was the reason why she's able to do what she does, because she can travel to London tomorrow, knowing that the boys, she has boys, that her boys have somebody that could stand in her state. So what support system do you have? There are apps, there are technologies, they could be your support system. I live in a city where I don't have family members. I've had to create a structure where I have support, even without having like sisters and brothers and mother, that kind of a thing. So I just think that these three things scattered here and there are things that have really helped me thrive. Number one, understand personal sovereignty, self-mastery. Who are you? If I give you pen and paper right now, can you, or you call Solami? Kick means Kiki Lomo. Sorry, I'm murdering your names. But if I give you pen and paper, can you write an essay on the mastery of you? Who are you? If you know you will fall in love with you.
Wow.
Oh, number two, we talked about what did we talk about in number two again?
You talked about systems. Essentialities, negotiables.
Create systems. I hope I answered your question.
In fact, I'm sure the mothers in the house will be so happy, but single people, don't be jealous, because there were so many things that she said that is applicable to everybody, whether you're a mom or you're not a mom, or you're single or you're married. She said things that are applicable to everybody. I'm just going to move on to the next question, because that was so much light. So I think you've answered. Yes, you've not answered this aspect. So we have some parents on this call, and intentional parenting is part of purposeful living for those who want to have children. I mean, you already dwelled on and that aspect of raising children, that is our purpose. So I want you to talk about, like I said, a sister asked earlier that where is your school? So I want to talk about your resources, your programs or courses that you would recommend to parents or educators for intentional parenting, just before we go to the more generalized question. And please, let's begin to get our questions ready. If we have questions, please. So what are the resources, programs, or courses that you recommend for parents who want to be more intentional, and for educators, or even aunties on this call? You don't necessarily have to be a mom. You have a niece that you love, you have a nephew that you love, and you want to just be intentional about or get resources for them. What are those things that you have at the moment that is beneficial for these people?
Awesome. So at the moment, I used to run a lot of webinars on parenting calling, but at the time I had to understand seasons. So I stopped because I'm interning, I'm learning. I work with one of the foremost parenting academies in Nigeria. It's called the Intentional Parent Academy. It's run by my boss, the lead coach, Wendy Ologe. Guys, please, after this call, just go to Instagram, search at the Intentional Parents.
At the Intentional Parents.
Okay. Yes, just press follow. We have about 35.2 followers. Right there are resources, tons of resources. We have a YouTube channel, Wendy Ologe, the Intentional Parent. Please, if you go there, we call it the Netflix of parenting. We have hundreds of videos. That's the first. Before I even talk about myself, please go and follow. because I don't talk about parent quarter as my boss does. So please go and follow. Then for me, my focus at the time, I help toddler parents navigate the first 6 years of their children's growth and parenting. Please follow me at the kidslearningcoach.ng, at kidslearningcoach.ng.
I think
.ng.
Helen, if you're on this call, can you help me paste the link to our profile? I think I copied that one out. And for intentional parents, is that it? Can you look at what I put in the chat? At the intentional parent, did I get that right?
I think it's parents with an S. Parents
okay, the intentional parents. Okay, but for Precious, that is
I think parents with
that is a handle. So we can just click on it now and follow her. Okay.
Yes. So that to me, to be honest, just follow that page. Check out the link in bio. We have links to the YouTube page. If you're a parent, just one video is enough. We have a community of 2,000 parents who are in our Inner Circle program. It's a program that runs annually, starts on the 1st of December every year. If you want parenting to navigate parenting, please follow my boss. But if you're a toddler parent who has to deal with tantrums, understanding what you should be doing in the first 6 years of a child's life, please follow me on Instagram. I have resources that are in my link in bio. I have courses. When they come up, you could easily. I also have a newsletter that'll be coming up. I've had to tone down the quantity of my work with coaching because of Learnaide, but I oscillate. So during the holidays, you find me on the page. Once it's no longer holiday, I take a break and I focus on school. I understand seasons, so it oscillates like that.
You can follow her on Facebook too. I think she's very active on Facebook, and she has
Precious James Ogbonna.
Our school is not in Lagos. I think it's in
Uyo, Akwa Ibom State.
Our school is in Akwa Ibom State, but we can access, of course, virtual resources from anywhere. Okay, thank you so much for that. I think the next question that I have here is working the path of purpose is not always rosy. That is very glaring from your story, from your experience, from the things you've told us. What have been your greatest challenges so far? And how did you deal with them? Because we have people who are on the path of purpose, and it's easy to get discouraged because sometimes you just believe that, oh, when God has called me to do something, whether in ministry, whether in education, whether in my business, if our business is a purposeful business, whatever it is God has called us to do, sometimes we tend to imagine that things should just be smooth and all of that. But there are challenges on the path of purpose. I want to know, what have been your own challenges and how did you deal with them? It may be helpful for someone.
For me, the major challenge with my purpose at the time has been resources. Especially being a young person I've been a teacher all my life. I've never been entrepreneurial in the sense that I have running businesses now. I've just been a single-eyed person. I did teaching, and of course, you know how they pay us as teachers. So in running my purpose, it was resources for a long time. It was resources in form of human resources, financial resources. But one thing I have done is the faith that when God sends you, he equips you. Now, equipping for me, a lot of times is not money. Equipping is the intrinsic equipment. So I've always believed that I believe in favor, I believe in grace, I believe that God sends destiny helpers our way. But I believe strongly that before those destiny helpers come, there are parts of you that can attract those destiny helpers to you. So the biggest lesson for me with my struggle and my challenge was really looking inward and asking, Precious, I need this. How can I create it? I believe strongly that I have the mind of Christ. How can I go home with this gift of Christ? A whole Christ is in me that created the whole universe. How can I get this? That's how I've taken care of every challenge that's come up. At the point in August, there was no funding. I had done everything. I even went to my uncle, my dad's brother, amazing uncle. So supportive when my dad died. So I was like, you know what? This thing that is remaining now, as I just wish my uncle like this is gonna give me. He loves me, he's a great guy. I went in, I gave him my business plan, proposition, everything. Oh, and no, I had never asked my uncle for anything. Never in my life, like never. So I was like, you know what? And he's a very good uncle. It's not like village people kind of uncle. Great man. And after he finished talking, he said, Precious, I wish I could. But your dad left a lot of responsibilities, and I've had to cater to them. At this point, I can't do anything. Hiya! Hiya! Ah, I cried. Jesus. Because this was my uncle that, you know how there are times that I'm like, if my dad was here, if my dad was here. So my uncle was my next, he was my next dad. My sisters and brothers, that's how I left the house. But I went back to God. I said, Father, this resource is inside. It's not my uncle. If this man has said no to me, it means that you have made the way, and that it's in me. I have been equipped. Sisters and brothers, it just took one instruction from this our Father that is in heaven, and this your sister that don't have uncle and brother and sister and money in the bank and a teacher. That's how God provided. Just one thing, one instruction, guys.
Wow.
One instruction, one like this. And even along the way, I've learned to trust. When God gives me ideas, I used to doubt them before. But at this point, he gives me, I run with it. And for every time I run with it, one particular need in Learnaide is solved. Every time I run with it. So resources has been my challenges. How have I been able to solve it? I've had to tune in with my father. I've had to shut my eyes from my surroundings, from what I don't have and what I wish I had, and why I wish my dad was alive. Because he was alive, or more, I would have done this in a big style. But the guy don't go. He has gone to be with the Lord. And that used to be a lot of my, I had issues trusting God. Because my dad was there. When you call father, he was a father, and he's no longer there. But I had to learn to trust my now father. God was having my father. But when you lose your father, and your father had a strong father figure in your life, God now becomes father. Like, like
if you have father, of that fact that
you have father, you don't understand the Abbahood of God. You know that my Abbahood. You never get that, So that's just how I've been able to navigate it, understanding that it is him that gives us the power to will and to do. Everything I need is here. Everything I need is here. And I'm going to just think about it. Okay, we need to do X, Y, Z. Okay, Lord, this is an expression. It's just one expression that's going to provide. It's just this other expression that's going to provide. And that's just how, there are other challenges, of course, hiring staff, but but this has been major.
Those ones are peculiar to the business in your hand.
Yes. So this is how I'm able to navigate this particular. I had to also build my work on my mind. I had a lot of scarcity mentality.
Wow.
And last year, God used DDK and Coach Mfon Epo to break off that. I do stuff at my workplace and I'm able to generate like 6-7 figures, one idea. I didn't know I had the gift of ideating. I did not know. I didn't embrace my multi-potentialism. I did not know. But my workplace, they will celebrate it. But for my personal life, I couldn't tap. Last year, I worked on my mind. As a man thinker, I had to look for resources that I struggled with a lot of imposter syndrome. A lot of imposter syndrome. People would need me. I would go in, give them strategies. It works for them. Strategies I give people last year, they run with it and they are able to multiply. But for myself, I was just be stuck. Last year, I had to work on my mind. You see, when we talked about self-mastery and improvement, I had to do a self-evaluation. I'm like, my mind is a problem. My mind is a problem. And since I have worked on my mind, of course, I'm a work in progress, but just taking care of my mind, my mindset, the conversation is plenty.
Wow. Okay, this has been so amazing. So many insights. And before I go to this last thing that you talked about, I want to ask, does anyone have a question? Please, if you have a question, you can do the hand raise if you want to talk. But if you're okay with putting it in the comment section, please go ahead and drop it in the comment section. If you have questions, please let's drop it in the comment section. Or if you prefer to speak, and you're able to do that, you can just do a hand raise, and you can do that. Okay, Ellen wants to speak. Ellen, go ahead.
Okay, so thank you so much. The session was hot, like we could even feel the passion in your voice. Well done. So I have a question around when you talked about energy cycle. So you said your energy cycle is between the hours of 3 to 10. So let's say 3 between the hours. So I think for me too, my energy cycle falls around that time. I'm actually most active very early in the morning. Now my question is, how do you handle this relation to marriage? So I think sometimes my husband tell me, no, you can't stand up, you can't get to do anything, that you have to be on the bed, you have to rest, all of those things. And then the truth is, when I eventually wake up, let's say maybe I stand up like 6 a.m., it's time for school run. And before you know it, 9, the energy cycle is gone. Like the real time you can get to this stuff is gone. How do I balance this? Or have you experienced this at any level where your husband just says, or you yourself, you just feel like, oh my, I need to be in this bed. I have to be doing this, I have to be doing that. When it look like this woman, my own is too much. Are you the only one? Something like that. So how do we balance this energy cycle with family? Like especially when it falls at the time where it's supposed to be normal, maybe with your family, with your husband, or maybe normal family, something should occupy those hours. What do you do?
Okay, so I think that number one, for your spouse, you need to communicate to him so he understands. The same with my husband, not being awake at night used to be a problem. Used to be a problem. Like, how do I come back from work and you're acting like you're drunk? Because I just had your food and I've slept off. It used to be a problem. But I think communication, I think he found it out himself. He just said that my wife, she's useless at night. Just leave her alone. So like, communication is major. Your spouse needs to understand why you decide to do what you're doing. He needs to know why. He needs to know that these are my peak periods. And for me, early morning, if early morning or in the afternoon is your energy cycle, you would need to compromise. So some days you need to work on those times. The other days you do what's your priority. Do you understand? Compromise is important. If afternoons are your energy cycles and you need to probably do school time or do school run or do something else, how do you ensure you're not the one doing school run tomorrow? Do you understand? So compromise is key. Communication. The next one would be bulking up your work. So let's say that probably Monday to Wednesday, your spouse would need you to be up, you would need to do something. How about you shift those things you're supposed to do Monday to Wednesday, to Thursday to Saturday? Here's what happens in your energy cycle. You have the strength of 10 men. Your clarity is crystal. Everything is clear. So those things you'd have been haggling to do or you'd have been struggling to do throughout the whole week, if you're able to dedicate 3 hours spread into 3 days, you'll be able to cover it up. Do you understand? Communicate, compromise, bulk it up. Create boxes of what you need to do. Fill it in. At those times, zoom in. Even if it's 30 minutes you do per energy cycle, it's still equal to doing 3 hours of work that's not doing your energy cycle. I hope I answered the question, bro.
Yes. I think I like the compromise and the communication part more. Because sometimes you can, or maybe the days you want to spread it, there are other tasks and other things to also accomplish on those days. But
I think compromise,
maybe with systems in place,
yes,
you can also achieve. So I think I like the compromise and communicate properly.
Yes,
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Edin, thank you so much for that question. So do we have any other question? You can use the hand raise if you prefer to unmute and speak, or you can put it in the comment section because we are rounding up soon. So I'll just give us some minutes to ask any question that we have. But what you said the last time, it's very, very, I think it's something that a lot of people can relate with. You know that, okay, this is the aspect of your purpose that is clear now, and you want to do something about it. Resources, for many people, is always an issue. And I'm happy that you shared, because like, how does a young person, start a school? Like, how did you get the resources and all of that? So it was, thank you for sharing that practical example from your life about that scarcity mindset is a thing for a lot of us, and we don't even know it. That scarcity mindset. So knowing that we need to depend on God in every step of our purpose journey, trusting him that if he has sent us, he's going to make resources available, and tapping into what we have inside of us, knowing that we carry so much, like you said, ideas. Yes. In fact, ideas are a class of wealth. That ideas are wealth assets, because your ideas, they may not even be ideas that you need to work on. It can be an idea that you give someone, and like you said, you give people strategies and they're able to work with it. So we need to believe in the creative power that resides within us, and how to leverage the ideas that come to us, trusting God and depending on him that is going to fund his vision. If he gives you a vision, it's his vision. Is the scripture that says that I'm watching over my word to perform it. I can extend it to our purpose. That purpose, if God gave it to you, is watching over it to see it come to fulfillment. So that will stretch in the journey, but it will never leave us completely stranded. So thank you so much. And now, you talk about your mindset, the fact that you needed to work on your mindset. For some people, it may be our belief systems. It may be some paradigms that we have that is limiting us from entering into the fullness of our purpose. So we need to deal with all of these things. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. It was so insightful, so insightful. So I believe that we don't have any questions, and that means I can let our guests go. So before you go, just what closing words do you have for us? What would you say at the end of everything?
Okay, so as my closing word or my parting statement, I just want to say that God has deposited so much in you. And I say this as someone who has battled low self-esteem, imposter syndrome, self-doubt. I've gone through very crazy circles in my life. And to see what God is doing through me, a lot of times I wake up and I'm like, it can't be me. It can't be me. I wake up and it's as if it's another person. Do you see? It's just because I woke up one morning and I decided that, you know what? I'm not going to let the devil play with my mind again. There is a gem inside this body and I'm going to go and find her. And 2 years after 2020, that gem keeps showing. There is a gem in you guys. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what it looks like. There is a purpose for your life. We didn't even talk about how to discover purpose. A lot of times for me, the journey to what you see today started with volunteering. It didn't start on its own. Volunteering triggered. It was DDK that I heard her say. She said, whatever you see a vision, but you can't touch it, it can't materialize, fix yourself into a system where that vision you have is already being manifested. There is a ripple effect it causes in your mind, in your social network, in your abilities. And I ran with that word. 3 years after, my life self, they really shocked me. 2020, I was in debt. I was owing. Like, I was so scared to go on Facebook because the guy's wife was going to call me out. 2021, one lady just sent me a message from Norway. I didn't know I was owing her. And on TikTok, I'm not even an owing person. I don't beyond my means. But my daughter's health came and shattered my life. 2019, I used to call my sisters to ask them for urgent 3K because I couldn't feed because of my daughter. Having a premature baby in Nigeria is not there. My husband I was not working. My husband had to pause to even cater to us. Do you see? But 2023, just 3-4 years after, it's almost a magic what God has done. And it didn't happen magically. There were systems. But these systems, there were things that happened, there were processes, there were pronouns that had to happen. But all these things happened when I decided to seek for more. There is more in you, and if you commit to your growth, your life in 3 years will shock you. It will shock you. You will pinch yourself and be wondering, is this me? Is this me? Commit to it. No matter in the night, in the morning, in the day, commit to it. There is more in you. But that more will come out while on your bed where you are sleeping and doubting yourself. Commit to it. Whatever it will take. Whatever it will take, commit to it. And God's name will be glorified in your life. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. And I want to emphasize what she just said about if you don't even have an idea what your purpose is, you're still asking that question, you've not gotten a glimpse of anything. There's 3 things I always say. First, fix your relationship with God. Fix your relationship with God. You know about the fact that He made us. So it made you, He understands you, He knows your purpose. So fix your work with Him. Start to hear Him speak to you. Create an architecture in your life that allows Him to speak to you. Start to fix your work with God and work with Him. As you work with Him, He starts to speak to you. He starts to make certain things clear to you. Then, like she said, one other thing that can help is volunteer. If there's anything that gets your attention that someone is doing, volunteer. Apprenticeship, volunteering, mentorship. Get into somewhere. Start to do something. Start to do something. You see someone that is, that this person is working in purpose. Attach to that person. Serve them. Start self-organizations. You'll be surprised at how this alone can make your purpose clear. And then there's power in serving, because when you start serving, you unlock even some strengths, some possibilities that you didn't even know you have. And then you get God's attention, because God knows that this, my child, is ready for something. So it begins to give you your own, because that parable that says, that place in the Bible that says that when the one that is in your hand, you don't undo it well, who's going to give you? Who's going to give you your own? So whatever your hand is doing, even if you don't understand that it relates to your calling, do it well. We talk about these things a lot. In fact, if you're in core 2 of the awakening course, we will talk about it in the kingdom agenda. So these things are important. This thing, volunteering, don't overlook it. In this part of the world, the people in the eastern part of the world, they do this apprenticeship thing very well.
System.
So attach yourself with someone. Or an organization.
Something quickly. It was in 2020. I started learning about mentorship, but I didn't have money. I was only 100,000 to come pay for somebody to mentor me. How? Guys, I was down. Like, forget this fine face. I was down. Drinking Gary kind of down. So I don't like to fall. I don't like to bend my mouth. I was down, I couldn't afford, like, DDK's mentorship that time. For Future Forward Female was 50,000. The salary was 25,000. It's not 100K. My salary was 25,000. Because of my daughter, they now reduced it to 22,000 naira, because I had to take leave to go for therapy. You understand that kind of magic? How do I pay? But I had to learn to search for free materials. There's a skill to it. There's a skill. Right? There's a skill to looking for free material. You see YouTube. There's a YouTube, Spotify, ebooks. There's a skill. So in one of those random podcasts I saw that was uploaded on DDK's channel, she just talked about, I had never heard of it. She talked about, if you cannot get into systems, paid systems, volunteer. She talked about how she was able to volunteer for, was it Okonjo Iweala? She was helped her to do something, transcribe one of her books, or I don't know, one of those women. Guess what? That's how she was able to get into that woman's circle. And I was like, And I heard from John Obidi. John Obidi mentioned the way you should ask for volunteership. You don't just say, mentor me, you go and write somebody, mentor me, they'll not answer you. People are busy with their lives. There was a template, my sisters and brothers. I used that template for my current boss. And she responded, well, yeah, sure. I didn't know that I was the first virtual assistant of that academy. 3 years later, I've gone from intern to full-time staff. I'm still running my school. There is a magic in volunteering. Find the right vision, put your head inside. And if you took your head inside, don't be a mediocre. Excellence at the peak. They should be asking, are we paying? My boss at the concert started giving me stipends. I was like, don't worry, I am here to volunteer. But I'm like, Father, thank you. This morning, I needed it. 3 years after, I'm a full-time staff. I'm running my school. I'm doing it. And that's how I'm able to support the school. Do you understand? Volunteering is a magic. It's, oh my God. Well, of course, the right vision, God-directed vision.
Yes. So prayerfully volunteer. And then one other thing, she talked about it briefly. Leverage knowledge. Okay, fine. You don't have money. You sincerely do not have money to access certain courses. What about free courses? Some of us, you need to have an hunger and a thirst for knowledge. Some people will take free courses and they will not even complete it.
Yes.
Like, and trust me, if you can't even complete a free course, you will complete a paid course.
The paid one, true.
You won't.
True.
So you need to have an hunger and an affinity for knowledge. You need to be able to research, find out what you need per season. Okay, I need to learn this thing per season. Find out the knowledge area. Find out whether it's a book. Books are the easiest thing to get now. You know, read a book, do something. And when you apply yourself to these things, purpose, you will realize that purpose has been calling to you. You will begin to see aspects of your vision that you can run with. So let me let you go now. Thank you so much. Can we put it in the comment section how the session was for us? Let's thank our guests for the gift of our time, for sharing opening our life to us, sharing our life with us. Please let's put it in the comment section. Ogbonna says that the session is so informative and valuable. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And it says hot.
Thank
you, Ma. Thank you so much, Precious. In fact, we'll do this again because you came with insight, you came with light bulbs, you were practical. There's nothing we didn't touch. We touched self-governance, we touched purpose, we touched mothers, we touched parenthood. Now, almost nothing we did not speak to. Ebube said, I really needed this. God bless you, Ma. Tosi said, such an enlightening session for upcoming mothers like us. See what I said? Like we touched everything. Faith says that, thank you so much, Ma. I learned a lot. Omotola said, we appreciate your time, Ma. It was very impactful. It was very impactful. Thank you so much.
I want to say thank you, especially to you, Moturayo, for the opportunity. And I also want to say thank you for showing up. Women like myself won't be where and won't impact the world the way I do if people like you didn't show up. There were times that I would stick myself into calls like this and I'm wondering, hey, will I ever be like this? Ever. But I'm here today because someone like you showed up. And I know that the same way that people showed up for me and my life has changed, that is the way you're showing up. And I want to say thank you. Vicky, please leave that. My daughter is distracting me, sorry. Vicky. I want to say thank you. I want to say God bless you. I want to pray that God increases you. He gives you the strength. He gives you the resilience against all odds. I pray especially that God brings vision helpers your way. People who will partner with you to blow up the vision of the Daughters of Awakening. I pray that in your sleep, God gives you utterances. I pray that in your sleep, God gives you ideas. He sends you to specific women. I pray that the resources to run this vision be given unto you in the name of Jesus. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sis. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you because I followed your journey over the years. And
thank you.
Every time I scroll through Facebook, I'm like, look how Precious is doing. And I pray that God continues to uphold you. I pray that your voice will be heard in this arena of influence that He has called you to. I pray that you will be among the change makers and the leading voices in our educational system. That transformation that we seek in the educational system, you will be among those that are leading the forefront and your voice will be heard. And we will see these changes in our lifetime in Jesus' name. Thank you so much for your time. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. I just won an award.
What? You won that award?
I did. I just
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. More, many more to come in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye, ma.
So, sisters, how was this? Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for keeping the comment session. Oh, Ellen says, Mama, we said thank you. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the call tonight. And I'm glad that it was so insightful for you. You know, it's our first awakening conversation for the year, and it was so loaded. So loaded. So let's continue to show up. I pray that God makes, God's will be done in our lives, and that we'll continue to not just be receivers, but we'll also begin to channel out all that God has put inside of us for others, to be a blessing to others. So that was the first awakening conversation. Usually, if this was your first one, do we have new people that are just attending the awakening conversation for the first time? If you're attending, if this is your first awakening conversation, let me know. Faith, I think this should be your first time. Ebube, this should be your first, and I hope it was worthwhile for you. Royal Saints, you're welcome. I think that's the first time I'm seeing that name in any of our. You're welcome. So, the first awakening conversation for the year, it started well, Abby. We came with fire. Yes, ma, it was a beautiful experience. So let's take this to the group. Let's let our sister know that we had a very great session, so that in the next one, they can join us. So the awakening conversations is a part of what we do in the Daughters of Awakening community, and we hold it every month. We don't hold it in January, we don't hold it in December, but every other time through the year, we hold the conversation. The reason why we didn't hold it last month was because there was a lot happening, and we just felt that we should still take a break. So we're going to have another one by God's grace next month, and please tell people about it, get people to join. It was a blessing for me as well, and I hope that in the next one I'll see more of us. So Saints, you're welcome. Is this your first time in any of our meetings? Are you a new community member, or are you one of us already? You can put it in the comment section, because I know I'm just seeing this name in any of I've not seen it in any of our engagement.
So Mama, she's from the RCCG Jesus Christ Sisters.
Oh, okay. Your first time. Oh, let's welcome her. You're welcome, sis. You're welcome. It's good to have you here. Okay. Is she taking any of our courses presently?
No, ma.
Oh, okay. But she's now a community member, Abby.
Yes.
All right, you're welcome. All right, sisters, let me let you go. Tomorrow is the working day for many of us. Some of us have 9 to 5s, 8 to 5 actually. So thank you for joining tonight. I'm glad that this was a blessing for you, and I will try to make the replay available in case you still want to dive in, you want to dig deeper. So God bless you, sisters. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you at the next family meeting or at the next awakening conversation. Have a great night, sisters. Bye.
Mama. Bye.